Hello everybody, welcome to a new tutorial on the channel. Today we will try to create a file organizer where we can automate a process that can take hours to do. Like if, for example, on my end I have the downloads folder, which I rarely come in here and organize the files that I downloaded. So yeah, I would like to have a script that is doing this for me. So yeah, let's get started. All right, so for starting this, we will need to import two libraries. The first one is OS, which is basically a module that provides a portable way of using operating system dependent functionality. The second one would be Shuttle, which is basically a module that offers a number of high-level operations on files and collections of files. In particular, functions are provided which support file copying, removal. So we will be using this in order to have the files moved to a specific folder, right? So those are the two modules that we will be using. And after that, we will try to create a menu so that the path will be basically an input from the user, right? So we define a menu which is in which we have definitely the path, which is an input, as I said, where we ask to insert the path, or maybe we can also create something that would give them the opportunity to actually quit the program, right? So we will use Q for that to exit the program. So after that, we have to basically validate the path that the user inputs, because if the user will input something that is not a path, right, then we will run in a kind of error. So before continuing with the menu, we have to define a path validation where we pass the path, which is a string, and then the return will be a boolean, right? Because we want to say if the path is valid, then we will be sending true, otherwise we will be sending false, so that the menu will know exactly how to proceed. So in this, we will return os.path if this is a director, right? And then we pass the path. So this, as I said, this takes as an argument the path, which is a string, right? This will return a boolean, which will be true in the path if the path is actually a folder. Otherwise, will return false. If we take a look over the menu, if this return false, we will then have to create a while statement, not path validation path. So if the validation path validation is false, let's say, then we have to see if the user actually pressed Q or not, because this is why we gave them the opportunity. So if the path is actually a Q, so the input from the user is actually a Q, then we'll just do an exit, and the path will basically, otherwise the path will be basically asking for the input, right? So what I did here is while the validation path is not true, so if this path will return a false, we have to check if the path is actually the Q, right? Because if that's the case, then we will just close the program. Otherwise, we ask for the path one more time, assuming that the user added accidentally the wrong path. Otherwise, we just print the path is valid, and then we will return this path, right? Because we actually want to return the path. Now we have to create the main function. Where we have to basically pass the two lists that contains first the folder names, right? And then we have to create the ones that contains the extensions, right? So we will go with dir types. Right, so I fast forwarded that so that you don't spend time looking at me writing different extensions. So now we also have to call the path, which is basically the menu, right? Because the menu will return the path after the validation. So we will also need a mapping, right? But before that, I have to create that. So we define a map extension to folder, which is also passing a path, which is a string. And then as a result, we would like to have a dictionary. And this dictionary will have as a key the path to the directory types, right? And values are the file extensions, right? So each directory types, as you can see, will have different values. The way we do this is using dictionary comprehension, so which will help basically storing the elements just like we do in a Python list. For each directory types, we will have the key created from the path, where we add the directory name and the value is created from these elements from file extension path. So what we will have to do here is an extension mapping, which is basically a path. The path plus the double slash. We know that in order to just one slash is not going to work, so we have to add double slash, double backslash, sorry, and then the directory, which will be file text, extension types. So right here, give a position for I, and there in enumerate for dir types, right? As I said, we have the dir types right here. And in here, we will basically return this extension mapping. So now what we have to do is, after we pass the path, we have the mapping as well, which is map extension folder, and then we pass the path. Now we have to also now create directories, right? So doing that, we have to create another function which will basically create the directory. So let's say we define create dirs, which is path as a string. We again use the path, and for directory in dir types, if not os path is dir, because we want to check first if this is already existing, right? But if not, then we will create this folder in the same path that the user passed, right? So this is how we create the folder. So for each element in this list, if the element is not already existent, the script will create a folder. Right. So now let's also call this create dirs right here, which is having as an argument the path. After that, we have to save all the files that are in the folder in a list. So we have to create a function for that. So let's see here. We define list all files, which is taking the path as an argument, and will return, as I said earlier, a list. So the files will be equal to file in for file in os list dir, which is taking the path as argument. If os that path is file, so we now have to check if the script will be taking our file into consideration. So in this here, we'll return the files, so we don't have to take duplicates here. So doing this, then we will have here in our main function, we will be calling files equal to list all files, with the argument being path. Now we should go over those files here. So for file in files, now we have to extract all the extensions for those files, which again will require another function which we will create right now. So map extract file extension from file, which is string, and will return also string, right? So there are a few ways of doing this. We can just simply get the last X characters from a file, but then this would be wrong, because if we take a look, so GPG will have 3 characters, JPEG, which should be like this, my bad, will have 4, and then that pi will have 2. So this way won't work. Instead, we have to, or at least we have another option, which will be basically looking over this dot. So this function will get as an argument the file, right? And then I want to explain it in the easiest way. We will try to separate the file name in different, we chop it, right? Using this dot here. And in order to make sure the file doesn't contain a dot in the middle of the file name, right? Because you can name a file using that. To avoid doing this wrong, we will basically have everything. I mean, all the pieces from the file name that we chopped will be basically stored in a list, and we will take the last element from that list. So let's see how we can do that. So we call this indexes, which is I for I in enumerate the file if this one is equal to that, right? And then if indexes, right? This way we see if this list have multiple values, multiple elements, contains multiple elements, because if this contains multiple elements, it means that we actually have a dot in the file name, right? And because of that, we will have to make sure we take the last piece of the file name, which is usually the extension. So we will do it file extension to be file, and then in the indexes we will take, as I said, the final piece we chopped, and then we will return this file extension. Otherwise, if this is not the case, it means that we don't have any dot in the file name, which is easily just if we don't have any dot, it means that we don't have any extension. So I will return no extension, right? So in any way, if this with this if we make sure if the file name contains a dot inside it, we won't return anything else but the extension. And if the file doesn't have any dot, we'll then call it as no extension. So what we will do here is file extension will be extract file extension from file, right? Because we look in each file right here. And for the key and value in mapping that items, right? We will do this here. Then we will actually try to see if the key is in the value and is having the value. So if file extension in v, right? So we have to make sure of the extension is present in the value. And then we will use try. I don't really recommend using try because it's just an easy way to avoid potential bugs, but also stops you from having a smooth debugging session. But then we will use shuttle to basically move path plus again we use the same way in K, which is basically the key, which is basically the path, the folder, right? That we just created. And then we do an accept, otherwise we will print something like file cannot be moved or something, so that we can point out that the file was unable to be moved. So yeah, what we can do now is looking into this here. As you can see, we have a lot of things going on here, and if I run the script, it will ask me for the path. Otherwise I can just press the Q and you can see the program stopped. If I run this again and pass a random thing, it won't continue. It will ask for this again, because we have this validation right here, which is basically giving me the input request again. But then if I pass the right path, oops, not like that, sorry. I just wanted to let's take it like this. So if I pass it like this, it's still not working. Sorry for this, I forgot to delete this one right here. So as you can see, it says the path is valid. And then if I take a look over here, as you can see, I have each folder created. I have just a few more things left over because I didn't include the JSON file, the SQLite file, the WinRAR files. But if I open each file right here, as you can see, we have all the zipped files. Here we have Excel files, which I don't really have any. The executables, the music, which I don't have one, the PDFs, and the pictures also. So the script worked perfectly. You can definitely add more folders and more file extensions. What I could do now is coming in here and see what I missed. So let's see, I could create an SQLite here, SQLite file. Let's go with another here, which is database. Let's say database, and then we pass SQLite, right? And if I run this again, if I pass this path again, let's see if this works. The path is valid, and let's say if we got this database, but I think I forgot the dot, right? Yeah, I forgot the dot. So let's quickly do it again. Sorry for that. Let's do it now. Let's see. Oops, not this one. This one here. As you can see, the SQLite files disappeared, and in the database we have all the SQLite files. So you can do this and probably include the folders also, and whatever else you have, like JSON files and so on. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please drop a like if you found this helpful. If you have any question, or if there is anything else you would like to see on this channel in the future, please drop a like with your idea or your question. Subscribe to the channel for more content that will be coming in. And yeah, happy holidays and talk to you soon. Bye.